Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about why we are not as human as we think we are and why there's many abilities that we still have left unactivated, and these things are preventing us from connecting with our higher guides. These above consciousness, outside of the human realm beings that establish connections with people who are open to them and provide them with a deeper sense of intuition and guidance in their life. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Now, I want to start by saying that we live in an age where we have more and more immersion into 3D realms created by us, like the metaverse, augmented reality. You might have seen people wearing those headsets lately. And these things are only going to get more and more popular, and people are going to get more and more ingrained into these things. Elon Musk recently went live and talked about how Neuralink has officially implanted its first brain chip into a human being. This is only going to accelerate. In many countries, you can already get a digital NFC chip implanted into your hand for things like your government ID, your credit card, and things like that. Now, what this is now where we're at right now is in the midst of two timelines. What I just described to you is what I'm going to call the degenerative timeline. And what I'm more interested in connecting people with is the regenerative timeline. And there's specific human abilities that we can activate to really tap into our most human parts of ourselves that very few people on the planet have been able to activate. You might have seen people on YouTube called channelers. These people are highly regarded for being able to channel through messages. We've also heard of clairvoyance, psychics in the past. And our current version of reality doesn't acknowledge any of these things as being legitimate. But what we have to realize, and what I've realized, is that these things are actually innate parts of our human being that have been deactivated through our lifestyles. Now, one of the most important structures in the human body when it comes to consciousness is the pineal gland. If you look at many medical textbooks, when I was in medical school to be a paramedic, every structure in the mind and the body was detailed except the pineal gland, where they actually mention that they need to do more research on the pineal gland. And I mean, we've known about this structure for thousands of years. It's even been depicted in in ancient Egyptian tombs as an acorn and being the kind of the core seed of life and wisdom, highly regarded by pharaohs and Egyptian gods. Now, I believe the key to being deeper in the human experience and fully expressing the most human parts of ourselves, abilities that we may have even forgot, abilities that we may have even forgot over hundreds and thousands of years, is the pineal gland. And so this pineal gland can be activated. And when I first started doing my pineal gland activation, also called the third eye, which, funny enough, that is actually a real retina structure in a reptile's brain. Reptiles like lizards actually have a physical eye structure in between where the third eye would be. And this is within humans as well. You may have experienced, a deeper sense of intuition at certain points of your life, almost a guiding intuition. Some people describe the sixth sense. Now, there's a number of things in daily life that basically cut us off from this connection. For example, the fluoride in your food and water actually calcifies this pineal gland and makes it less of a transmitter or not a transmitter at all of any sort of information. There are many things in everyday life that we can look at to connect with this structure, starting by physical detoxing of fluoride in your food and your water. That could be the biggest game changer, and I stopped using fluoride about 4 years ago. I've noticed a significant increase in my sense of intuition, into that sixth sense that many of us talk about. Another one that I've been focusing on lately, up until recently, is meditation. And meditation is definitely gaining more and more credibility in the real world, especially with these large spikes in anxiety. Many people being on medications, realizing they're just a band aid solution. Meditation could be a real, tangible way for you to connect with your pineal gland and your third eye, and actually get channeled messages through you, through your through your guides. And I talked about this in another video. I can put it up there where we talk about how everyone has their personal guide. I believe the nature of reality isn't what it seems, and the fact that we're able to build extremely realistic simulations could be an indicator that we're not living in the truest form of reality that humans are able to experience. Many of our ancestors, I believe, were more human than we are today. But that's not to say that we can't reconnect with our old human selves and reactivate those parts of ourselves that maybe have been laying dormant for many, many centuries or even thousands of years. In doing this, I imagine, like, can you imagine if everybody opened their third eye and was had this deeper connection to their sixth sense, what the planet would be like? I feel like people would have a greater sense of intuition of what others are feeling. There'd be more compassion. We would maybe even have what we call supernatural powers, like being able to communicate with others. I had a mushroom trip many, many years ago, almost a decade ago, where I'd taken some psilocybin mushrooms with some friends, and I was sitting in a living room with them, and I had a conversation with another friend across the room. We only realized after the conversation had ended that we were not actually speaking to each other, which was one of the most mind blowing experiences I've ever experienced in my life. It made me realize that maybe there are other deeper human abilities that we haven't tapped into. I remember watching a documentary even a few days ago on Gaia talking about how every human has this ability, but the very few rare ones, get through to being able to unlock it. And so this is my mission here, is to help others learn from my journey, as someone who's just starting to channel and create these connections with my higher guide, develop my deeper sense of intuition, and find my life's task while also, helping others and serving the collective. What do you think about connecting with your higher guides and your pineal gland? Do you think there's a connection there? Do you think that we are transmitters and receivers of information and maybe we haven't fully unlocked our human abilities? Let me know in the comments down below, and also leave down anything you're doing to decalcify your pineal gland because maybe we can make some videos on that in the future. With that being said, friends, until next time, peace.